Well, let's give thought to the process of communication. Communication involves having a thought or an idea in our mind. Now that thought or idea needs to be processed and verbalized, or in other words, encoded into sound. The thought or idea, that's the message, has to be encoded. Now the coding depends upon the language you use. So our brain and the entire vocal system works together to encode the thought or idea into sound. And that sound, through a channel, is received by the recipient. Now, what the recipient hears is the sound that is produced. And that sound then is decoded by the recipient according to his knowledge and understanding of the language. And then he grasps the thought or the idea. So communication in any language involves the process of encoding and decoding thoughts and ideas. Now, throughout the world today, there are more than 6,000 languages that are spoken. And it might surprise you to know that India has 1,652 mother tongues that are spoken, which is in a way good, because for most Indians, we are bilingual. We speak more than one language. And when you speak more than one language, learning an additional language becomes all the more easier. But then, why English? Why English? Why do we have to learn English? Well, there are many reasons why people would like to learn English. You have three words there: success, progress, and growth. Now, our knowledge or skill in communicating in English will help us with success, with progress, and with growth. It has often been said that if a person is an average student or has average knowledge of his technical skills, but is good at communicating in English, he can do much better than someone who knows his subject matter very well, but cannot communicate effectively in English. So, success, progress, or growth, both in terms of career, in terms of corporate work, or even in terms of just personality, an individual's growth, mental growth, English is a major factor. English is the most commonly spoken language in the world. 1 out of 5 people in the world speak English. It's the official language of 53 countries. Now that means having the ability to communicate effectively in English widens your prospective audience. It widens the reach that you have in communicating. It's also the language of science, computers, internet, diplomacy, tourism, media. You can add medicine. So having proficiency in being able to communicate in English widens the scope of your activity. Because now you can work out in various fields and you can attain success in whichever field you choose to work in. Now, learning English is not rocket science. It can be easy to learn and it can be fun learning English. But at the same time, let me tell you one thing, it's not something that's easily said or easily done. It requires effort, it requires work on your part. But having proficiency in speaking English gives you confidence. It adds value to you as an individual. It broadens your horizons because you're able to go into a wide variety of fields, have an understanding, have a grasp of. But beyond that, you're also able to communicate with a wide variety of people. And they're able to communicate with you, which builds you up, which broadens your thinking and widens your horizons. Now, the question that now arises is, How do we learn English? Well, there are four words that you can give thought to. First, let's focus on methods. You need the proper methodology to learn the language. A proper method of grasping how the language is spoken, what are the sounds of the language, how the sounds are put together in a meaningful manner. Now that is what the course provides. A system of learning the language. Now, the course provides you with a system to learn the language. You need to enjoy learning the language, because whatever you do, if you do not enjoy doing it, you're not going to do it for a very long time. So you need to enjoy the process of learning the language. And we provide you with ideas that will help you enjoy learning the language. And then finally, patience. Now, sadly, that's something the course cannot provide you, but that's something you need to cultivate. Patience required to work at the language until you attain a reasonable proficiency in the language. Now, trying to learn English is quite like trying to learn to play any game. For that matter, let's compare that with playing cricket. Now, if you like to learn how to play cricket, you can't learn it from a book. You can't learn it in a classroom. Now, coach might tell you some tricks, he might give you some ideas, some suggestions, but then he takes you out on the field. He gives you a bat in your hand, right? And then there are balls thrown at you, you have to hit the ball, you play the ball. And as you play the ball, the coach says higher. To the right hand, it should be higher, more swing in the bat, a wider swing. He keeps telling you what to do, and then you learn how to play. That is the same. And that's why the method of learning language is always a three-step process. Instruction, practice, criticism. So you receive some instruction, you get some idea, you get some instruction, then you practice it, you use it, you try it out. And then when you try it out, you make mistakes. You receive criticism or you receive correction, and then you improve. Now for this, one thing you need to do is you need to leave your shyness outside. You need to come in with it to the class being willing to be corrected. You should be willing to speak, make mistakes, learn from the mistakes, and grow. That is the only way you can learn a language, especially English. Now the method we are going to use in the class is quite similar or can be parallel to how a child learns how to speak. Now how does a child learn how to speak? Basically, a child spends a lot of time listening. He listens to his parents, he listens to others speak. He's soaking in all those words. And as he's soaking it in, he learns how to speak, how to sound the words, how to put the words together. So the process a child learns a language is always, he listens, he speaks, he learns to read as he grows a little older, and finally he learns how to write the language. Well, you're not babies exactly. However, some of the methods that babies use to learn the language is the same that we use to learn the language. So you listen. You listen to how the language is said, and then you speak. You try it out. You learn to speak. And then you read. And as you read, you learn how to speak better. As you write, you learn how to speak better. And that is how you learn the language. Now another point that you do well to keep in mind, how many babies have you seen sitting down and listening to their parents? Babies generally don't sit and listen, right? Babies are always doing things. They are crawling, they are trying to move around in their own way. They are active. And as they are active, they are soaking in words. Now, that's what you need to do. You need to learn how to speak. You need to learn the spoken word as you engage in different activities. activities. So don't expect to be able to sit through the class and just learn. Have activities that will help you learn the language. So it's called active learning. Well, what will be part of spoken English? 3 basic things. First is vocabulary. A vocabulary does not mean just a set of words. You need to know the words and you need to know the sound of the words. You need to know how the words go together. Now, all that is part of vocabulary. Another thing is accuracy. Now, accuracy requires a knowledge of grammar. A reasonable amount of grammar is required to be able to speak correctly, know which sounds go together, how the sounds should be put together in an effective manner for proper English communication. Fluency is the third aspect. Fluency means the ability to put your thoughts or ideas into sounds, or remember what we spoke about earlier, encoding. The ability to encode your thoughts or ideas into sound without having long interruptions. That is fluency. Now that takes practice. So the more you speak, the more fluent you become. Now, one thing you do well to remember is, in class, the more I speak, I improve my English. But the more you speak, the more you do the exercises, you improve, you speak better. You know how to speak effectively or communicate effectively in English. Now, it's good to keep in mind one thing. There are many wrong expressions that are very commonly used. Just to illustrate that, have you ever heard somebody introduce himself and say, myself so-and-so? Now that is wrong English. We do not introduce ourselves saying, myself so-and-so. We say, my name is so-and-so, or I am so-and-so. That is proper language. So, during the course of the discussions, we'll see a number of things that are commonly used which are wrong, and also we'll focus on how we can use correct English, which means the right vocabulary with the right sounds, the right words with the right sounds put together effectively to form proper sentences that are accurate or that are in line with English grammar. That is what we're going to consider. Now, what is in the scope of the course, or what's part of the curriculum? Well, here are some things that are part of the curriculum. Spoken English, which we have spoken about a little bit, grammar. We also have public speaking. So you learn how to address an audience or how to address a meeting. You also learn how to handle an interview. So there's preparation for interview, and as part of that, we do a bit of resume preparation, and then overall personality development. Basically, we try and prepare you for the work world. As the picture indicates, we're preparing you for life in the corporate world. How to handle yourself in a corporate setting and handle yourself in an effective manner so that you can be successful in the corporate world. Well, that is basically the scope of the entire course. We have already discussed the behavior of pronouns, right? A little bit. We'll go ahead and discuss further the behavior of pronouns. Now, let's look at this slide. Come on. We looked at this slide yesterday as well, right? You remember this one? Now, if the manager and the owner of the firm is the same person, what form will the verb take, or will the pronoun be? The pronoun will be singular. If it is two different persons, Plural. Now, how do you make out whether it refers to the same or to two different persons?
We should add the.
Correct. Exactly. So, if you have the manager and the owner, then that indicates two different persons. Otherwise, it indicates singular. So that's why it says focus on the use of the word the. Okay, now we move ahead. When two nouns are joined by as well as, the pronoun agrees with the first subject. I'll illustrate that. Mohan as well as. So you have the as well as use, the phrase used. Mohan as well as his friends is doing his work. Now, is based on what? Mohan or friends? Mohan. His work.
His work.
The pronoun is based on friends or Mohan?
Mohan.
So it's based on the first subject, not on the second subject. Now look at this one. The students as well as their class teacher are doing their work. Now notice here, why are students? Because it's based on students. Their work. Why their? Because it's based on students. Right? Now can you write two examples of such kind of sentences? Two examples of sentences where you have two parties and the pronoun is based on the first subject. Two examples of sentences of this kind. Remember, you have to have two subjects. You have the as well as phrase, and then the pronoun depends on the first subject. Done? Two sentences. Actually, if you have one sentence, you can invert the sentence and that becomes your second example as well. Done?
This one as well as his friends is doing his homework.
Okay, this one. Okay.
The students as well as there is practicing exam.
The students as well as
There is practicing exam.
sorry, the
They
students
practicing
as well
exam.
as who? You have to have a second subject. The students as well as
Friends.
their friends. Okay, are
Practicing exam.
practicing for their exam.
For their exam.
Now it should be are. Why are? Because the first subject is what? Students. So it should be are and practicing for their. Because their base is based on students.
Students.
Right? Okay.
Mohsin as well as his friends is going to Uti.
Is going to. Okay, fine.
Rohan as well as his family is going to the Mumbai.
Will it be the Mumbai or going to Mumbai?
Going to Mumbai.
Yes, good. Thank you. Adil
Majid as well as his friend is listening to a lecture.
is listening to a lecture. Okay.
Ram as well as his family is going to the temple.
Okay. Good. So Ram as well as his
Family.
family. Yes.
Majid as well as his friends is going to attend class.
Okay. Good. Okay. Now just invert that sentence. Put friends first and Majid later.
The friends as well as Majid are going to attend the class.
Good. Yes. So even if you just invert it, you get the second example, isn't it? That's right.
Ravi as well as his colleagues is planning to do a party.
Okay.
The students as well as their parents are at the meeting.
Okay. Good. Now, do you do a party or do you have a party? You always have a party, you don't do a party. Good. Thank you. Now, let's look at the next one. When two singular nouns joined by and are preceded by each or every, the pronoun must be singular and should agree in gender with the second noun. Now, if you look at this example, every, so it's the noun is preceded by every. Every man and every woman will do her best for the nation. Now, why her? What does the pronoun depend on? The second subject. Each boy and each girl went to her house. Why her? The second subject. So it depends upon the girl. Right? Can you write two examples of this kind of sentences? So the noun, you have two nouns. The nouns are preceded by every or each. And so the pronoun is singular. The gender of the pronoun is like the second noun. So two examples. And also remember one thing, you can't have every and each together. Generally, if it's every, then the second noun will have every. Or each, the second noun will have each. So you want to start this?
Every teacher and every student will do his best in exam.
Okay. Good. Okay. Fine. Ajit?
Every boy and every girl should attend the party.
Okay.
Every man and every woman are hardworking.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. The sentences are correct. But you don't have a pronoun there. Both the sentences you don't have a pronoun, right? Every man and every woman are hardworking. But there's no pronoun there that links to the second noun. But your sentences are correct. Nothing wrong in the sentences as such. Okay, fine, thank you.
Every boy and every girl should have her freedom.
Should have that freedom. Okay, good.
Each woman and each man will do his work.
Good. Very good. Yeah.
Every girl and every boy will do his best in the exam.
Good.
Every man and every woman went to her office.
Good. Thank you.
Every friend and every friends will do
Every
our
friend
best
and-
for the patient.
Sorry, coming in.
Every friend and every friends.
Okay, now if you say every friend and every friends, that means the same thing, isn't it? So you don't actually have two nouns there. Every friend and every friend both mean the same. Right? No problem. So basic, but do you get the basic idea of the whole thing? These type of sentences are not very usual, so it's not easy to think of examples of this, but the basic point is if you have each or every, you have two nouns. Then the pronoun is based on the second noun and it is in the singular. Okay? Right, let's look at the next principle. When two nouns are joined by with, the possessive adjective agrees with the noun coming before with. Now, look at the example. The boy with his parents has gone to see a movie. Why has? Why has? Parents are plural, right? But has agrees with the noun coming before with. So before with, which is the noun? Boy. So has agrees with boy. Now look at this. The children with their teacher have gone to a picnic. Why have? Children. Not has. Have. Because it agrees with the noun that comes before it. Okay? Now, can you think of okay, let's look at this before you try examples. Mine, are, your, his, her, their, and its are no longer treated as possessive cases of personal pronouns as they are possessive adjectives by function. Okay, so these words, when depending upon the structure of the sentence, for example, now his in this sentence, is his a pronoun or is it an adjective? Basically, it's a pronoun. The word is a pronoun. But in this sentence, is it an adjective or a pronoun? It's an adjective. Why? Because it tells you who the parents are. Right? It says his parents. So here, his becomes, although it's basically a pronoun, it now becomes an adjective, which is what it says. It becomes a possessive adjective. Now here, if you look at their teacher, there is basically a pronoun. But in this sentence, what does there become? It becomes a possessive adjective. Right? So you have these words which primarily are pronouns, but depending upon the sentence structure, they could become possessive adjectives, not just possessive pronouns or personal pronouns. Okay? Okay, fine. So try and see if you can write two examples. You have with, two nouns, and the pronoun agreeing with the noun that comes before with. you have the pronoun that agrees or that goes with the noun that is before with. Okay? Joined by with, and then the pronoun agrees with the noun that comes before with.
The girl with her friends has attended the seminar.
The girl with her friends.
Attended the seminar.
Okay. Or will it be has attended or have attended?
Has.
Has. Why has? It goes with which word? The girl. Very good. Yes. Okay.
The children with their father have gone on vacation.
Very good. Why have? It relates to children. Very good. Thank you. Okay.
The man with his family has went to Manali.
The man with his family
Has went.
has went or has gone?
Has gone.
Has gone to Manali. Right? Good.
The employee with their manager have gone to attend a seminar.
The employees with their manager
Have gone to
have. Okay. Why have?
subsidiary employee.
Good. It's plural. Very good.
The girl with her parents has gone to attend their parents' meeting.
Good.
The students with their lecturers have gone to an excursion.
Very good. Has or have? Have. Very good.
The boy with his school classmates has gone to see a movie.
Very good.
The children with their went to a temple.
The children with their
Went to a temple.
the children with their parents
With the parents went to a temple.
went to a temple. Okay. Very good.
The girl with her parents has gone to the temple.
Good. Okay. Has.
The
Good.
parents with their child have visited the party.
Okay. Why have?
Parents plural.
Parents is plural. Okay. Good. Thank you. Okay. Now look at the next one. When two different nouns are joined by either or neither nor, the pronoun that's used is or should be in agreement with the second noun in both the number and the gender. Now look at the example. Either your sister or you have knit this sweater. So you have either or, and you have two nouns. Sister, you. So now, why do we have this word, have there? Why have? It depends upon which one. Does it depend upon sister or you? Second noun. You. Sister, if it was sister, then it should be what? Has. Sister has. You have. Right? So because it is dependent upon you, it uses the expression have. Now look at this example. Neither the students nor the teacher was in the class. Now it says neither nor. Right? Now you have two subjects, students and teacher. Now what is the word was dependent on? Which is the second noun? Teacher. Now if it was dependent on students, then what should it be? Was, were, right? But it's was because it is dependent on the second noun, which is teacher, right? Okay, let's have two examples of this type of sentence. You can use neither nor, either or, two subjects or two nouns, and then you have the pronoun which relates to the second noun in gender and number. Two examples. Form a sentence with that. Neither nor. Use that phrase, neither nor, use that clause. So you have neither nor, you have two subjects, Ram, Rachel, with Rachel being the second subject, and both don't agree it is their book. Okay, so you have neither nor phrase, Ram, Rachel are the two subjects, Rachel being the second subject, and the concluding clause is don't agree, it is their book. Now try and frame the sentence properly. Neither nor, Ram, Rachel, their book. Try and see if you can get the frame. We have the key expressions there. You can use those. Got it? Venkatesh? That's it? You got it, Venkatesh? Okay, that's good.
Either your brother or you have won the medals.
Okay, good.
Neither the player nor the coach was in the garden.
Okay, was the line. Good.
Neither Ram nor Rachel agreed with their book.
Okay. Or agreed it was, put it that way. If you say agreed it was dash book, what pronoun will you put there?
They
Neither Ram nor Rachel agreed it was, what pronoun will you put? Why her? Second noun. Which is the second noun?
Rachel.
Rachel. Now it has to agree in number and gender with the second noun. So what would be the pronoun? It has to agree with the second noun. Her. Correct. It should be her. Right? Because what is the second noun? Rachel. The gender is feminine. The number is singular. So neither Ram nor Rachel agreed that it was her book. Okay? Good. Thank you. Majid?
Either your friend or you have to attend the meeting.
Good.
Neither the friend nor the family was not interested to attend the marriage.
Okay, now here should it be was, which is the second noun?
Family.
Good.
Wait.
Either you or your brother has a bike.
Okay.
Neither the employees nor the manager were serious about their work.
Good.
Either your brother or you have broken this glass.
Okay.
Neither Ram nor Rahim was present to the class.
Was present.
To the class.
Are you present to the class or are you present in the class?
In the class.
In the class, right? Abid, what was the second example? Just tell us once again.
Neither the employee nor the managers were serious about their work.
Okay. Managers. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Either your relatives or you have met a function.
Come again, come again.
Either your relatives or you have met a function.
Or you have
Met a function.
gone to the function.
Gone to the function. Neither the science nor maths class was listening.
Neither science nor maths.
Class was listening.
Neither the science nor the maths class
Not listening.
was listening. Okay, fine. Fine. The teacher can say that. Right? Teacher can say the maths class wasn't listening. Or the science class wasn't listening. Right? And let's look at this one now. The pronoun appearing after than must be in the same case as that of the noun appearing before than. Now look at the example. She plays the sitar better than me. Or she plays the sitar better than I. What should it be? Why I? Because she is what case?
Second person.
Third person. The pronoun appearing after than must be in the same case as that of the noun appearing before than. So it should be it's not a question of which person it is. It is which case it is. So when you say she, the case is I. She, he, and I. He, her, and me. Remember, that's the same case. So the case here is she, her, I. She, he, and I. His, her, mine. You understood what I'm trying to say? His, her, then what would be the third one?
I.
His, her,
Me.
his, her, mine. You see? She, he, what will be the one? She, he, me. Not me, I. She, he, and I. He, his, hers, mine. Because that is possessive. Her, his, mine. That's possessive. She, he, I. Okay, now here, look at the second one. His elder brother is more intelligent than him. His elder brother is more intelligent than
He.
Many A always takes a singular pronoun and a singular verb. Now when you have many A expression, so you have like an example, many a soldier has sacrificed his life for the motherland. Now notice there it says his life, not their life. So when you say many A, then it has to be singular.
Singular.
Many a man has served his country nobly. His country. So once again it is singular. Right? Okay. I think we'll go a little faster and try and finish pronouns today. Now, the use of it. It is used for things without life or inanimate things. Can you give an example? You have one example there. He gave me a book, it was old. So the book, you use the pronoun it. Can you think of something else you would use a pronoun for? You would use the it pronoun for. Chair,
Yeah, he gave me a
shoes, bag,
book, mobile.
mobile. So any inanimate thing, right? Animals. My horse gives me a great pleasure of riding. I didn't want to sell it. Now, can you think of any other examples where you use it to represent animals? What else can you use the pronoun it for? Yeah, pet dog, sheep. Yeah, pet bird. So all that is it. Children, when gender is not mentioned. So when you use the generic term child, it is it. But if you have a more specific term, so you understand whether it's a boy or a girl, a male or female, then what would you use? What pronoun would you use? He or she, right? But when you don't have the gender, when it's a generic word, then you will use it. Another example is speaking of the weather, the season, the time. What time is it? How would you answer? It is. Right? So the time is it. The season is it. What season is it? It is summer. Stressing over a noun or a pronoun that follows. So now here it was in Delhi that I was cheated by a young man. Now we are trying to stress the word Delhi. Delhi is a noun, name of a place, right? So you use the word it to stress. He could have also said, in Delhi I was cheated by a young man. That's correct English. The sentence is right. In Delhi I was cheated by a young man. But then compare that with this sentence, which has more emphasis. This has more emphasis. Right? So by using the word it, you can lay more stress on the noun that you are using. And then referring to a phrase or a clause already mentioned. Look before you leap. Now that's a saying, or an idiom, or a phrase. Now to refer to that, you can use the word it, the pronoun it. So it teaches us the right attitude in life. Alright? Now can you think of any pronouns or any sayings in the English language? Anything that you are aware of or that you can think of right now? Any phrases, any sayings? So you say honesty is the best policy. It is a statement we hear very often. So again you use the word it to refer to that. Right? Anything else? Any other English phrase? English saying? Cleanliness is next to godliness. Have you heard that? There's a cleanliness is next to godliness. It is a saying that we should try and live by. Again, you use the word it to refer to that saying. Okay? Now, pronouns like mine, ours, yours, his, hers, theirs are used to replace possessive, adjective, plus noun. I shall bring my scooter, you will bring yours. What does yours actually mean? Your scooter. So here you have a possessive adjective and a noun. But remember, this will work only if the second noun is the same as the first noun. If that noun is different, we can't use the same expression. Now look at this. This is Sudha's book. Where is mine? Mine refers to mine. Can you think of two examples like this? Write down two examples. Examples of two sentences where you have two subjects, two nouns, and you have the adjective and the second noun merged together as a possessive pronoun.